When I was in the 5th grade, roller hockey was all the rage in Lafayette, Louisiana. So I wanted to play. My dad took me to the roller hockey store. I got my skates, my stick, all my other equipment. And it was so popular at the time that you had to try out for league roller hockey. So I remember sitting there in my driveway learning how to skate backwards. One of the skills they were going to test us on. So my dad there with me telling me, no, you just gotta take your right leg and just make a C with it. Just make a backwards letter C. So there I am making my backwards letter C's, learning to skate backwards. Early on I looked ridiculous. But after a while, I could do it with some ease. I could do it with some finesse. Learning to skate backwards was hard work. We've all known hard work. In our first reading today, at the heart of it is that truth. That prayer is hard work. Prayer is like learning to skate backwards. So let's dig into our first reading, see what insight the Lord has for us, and what that means for our daily lives. And the heart of our first reading is Samuel. He is the son of Hannah. Hannah begs the Lord for a child and promises to dedicate him to the Lord's service. She indeed bears a child, and as soon as he is weaned, she brings him to the temple. So from his infancy to our first reading, Samuel is in the temple. That's where he grows up. He lives near the Holy of Holies, that place which houses the Ark of the Covenant, the 10 Commandments, the place where God's Spirit dwells in a unique way. That's where Samuel grows up. Today we hear about his bedroom. His bedroom is just outside the Holy of Holies. The golden lampstand, the bread of presence, the table of incense. Samuel lives there. Samuel sleeps there, keeping the lamps lit, being attentive to God's presence. If prayer should be easy for anybody, it should be Samuel, who's grown up there since his infancy, whose bedroom is the temple. But even for him, listening to the voice of the Lord is really hard. Even if you are the holiest person of your time, even under the best of circumstances, to hear and to understand is hard. To hear and to understand requires work and effort. And so Samuel hears the first time and he misunderstands. He thinks it's Eli calling. He hears a second time again. This holy man misunderstands. He hears a third time, and then, only with the assistance of Eli, does he realize what's going on. Prayer is hard work. What does this mean for us? Well, first, we need to treat prayer like we treat other activities in our lives. We need to put in work. We wouldn't expect to compete well in sports without putting in the work. We wouldn't expect to dance well or to cheer well without putting in the work. We wouldn't expect to play an instrument well without putting in the work. We wouldn't expect good grades without putting in the work. Why do we expect to pray well without hard work and effort? Prayer is just as hard, even harder than these other activities. So we have to put in the reps. We have to put in the work. When we say, well, Father, I'm not getting anything out of it. Well, I didn't get anything out of skating on backward C's. But eventually I could skate with some finesse, with some pleasure, with some joy. Remember those early days of piano playing? You didn't get much pleasure out of banging out Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star on a piano, but you may be able to do it with some ease, with what it's going to be. And so, despite the fact of us not getting anything out of it early on, despite the fact of it being hard early on, we need to put in the time, we need to put in the reps, because that's the only way that it will ever come with ease. That is the only way that it will ever bring us pleasure. So first, put in the work. Second, and this is kind of the opposite side of the coin, don't be too hard on yourselves. Samuel, he's the holiest man of his time, and he struggles in prayer. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's some deficiency in Samuel. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's something wrong. All it means is that listening, hearing, understanding God is hard. It requires work. It requires effort. Prayer is like delivering a 10-pound baby. The nurses, they all look at the mama who's just delivered a 10-pound baby and say, "Oh, what a shame, she broke a sweat." You know? The nurses don't look at a mama who's just delivered a 10-pound baby and say, "Oh, if only she could have done it with more finesse." No. Delivering a 10-pound baby is hard. And so it's hard because it's hard. That's what it took. That's the effort, that's the work that it took to deliver that baby. Prayer is hard. Why? Because that's the work, that's the effort it took to communicate with the Creator of the heavens and the earth. So, what does it mean? We need to put in the work, and at one and the same time, not be too hard on ourselves. Skating backwards is hard. I could probably still do it today because I put in the work. I look a little ridiculous today, but not a lot ridiculous. And so let's remember that when it comes to prayer. Let's put in the work, and let's not